Right, if you just joined us, this is still Enterprise Morning. We're here, Enterprise Television it is. And now to our main conversation for today. Organizers of the ongoing #EndBadGovernance protest have announced a 3-day mourning period to honor the memories of their fallen colleagues who were killed by security agents during the protests. The mourning period commenced on Wednesday, August 7, and ends on Friday, August 9, with a public symposium and candlelight procession. In a statement by Hassan Soweto, Ayoyinka Oni, and Adegboyega Adeniji, on behalf of the #EndBadGovernance in Nigeria Organizing Committee, the Gani Fawemi Freedom Park, Ojota, in Lagos State, the organizer said the decision to declare a mourning period comes after a series of violent attacks on peaceful protesters by police and talks allegedly sponsored by the state. The protest organizers encouraged Nigerians to join collective actions such as the public symposium and candlelight procession on Friday. Given how persistent the attacks had been, the organizer said they believe the police and the talks were working together to muzzle their voices. They noted that this had made Ojota unsafe for peaceful protesters, hence the decision to re-strategize and consider other forms of engagement to keep the struggle alive until day 10. Well, that is our reportage for today, and still with us in the studios to do justice to this particular topic, Barrister Francis Feli and Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid. Thank you, gentlemen, for hanging around. And it's often said, George Santayana said, those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. Now, there we have it. Just yesterday, it was reported that about 5 protesters were killed in Bauchi State by soldiers, 8 injured at the same time. Though, just to add to the number of those that have been killed, since the protest actually kicked off. Do you think this is a brand fragmentation for the Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration? Well,
the administration had already demonstrated the fact that it cannot tolerate protesters. Meanwhile, it cannot also govern. Those are the two issues. First, it cannot tolerate the outcome of misgovernance, and it cannot also tolerate the fact that citizens have a right to protest under the law. And that is the dilemma that we find ourselves as citizens. People came out to protest, to exercise their right to protest. And in doing so, you got to a point where they have now outlined their demands. Then you came out to address the nation, supposedly on the protest. Then you started saying something very different and far away from the protest. At some point, the president's speech became a manifesto. He started laying further promises and telling us about two investors that have signed and so many things that people could not relate with. So the next day, which was on a Monday, the people decided to intensify the protest, given that the president is not doing anything about it, and they started cracking down on, killed a lot of persons for whom the protesters have decided to mourn. Okay, and it's a good one for the protesters to re-strategize. This protest should not end. It should not end because you see this issue of flying Russian flags and all those are a distraction. That issue is not serious. The federal government is giving it heavy weather.
You think it's not serious?
No, it's not serious. Not a serious issue. Some children, these are children and they carry flag. Anything children see, that's what they will carry and protest. You understand? Somebody might be under the ground providing it for them. But just to humiliate government, not like the Russian
authority. Not really they are intended to government.
But government will make heavy weather out of it so that they will now use it. So now they are saying DSS have arrested these people. Now what are they trying to do now? That the country is planning to take over Nigeria or what? Who are they telling all those stories now? They just need to make heavy weather out of it and stand on it and begin to crack down on protesters. I think that the APC government is not only incapacitated, it's unable to think and plan, and is too arrogant to govern. So When you put all this together, you see the deficit. There's huge deficit. It can't even call the protesters to a meeting. It can't even organize and give these demands, a face. Part of the demands, that they are easy. Some of them are not as, why can't we sell fuel for 200 naira? Why? Do we import it? Yes. Do we have it? Yes. So why are we importing what we have? That question will not be answered by anybody. The day we start to answer those simple questions is the day we start to move forward. You understand? You have things, you don't have it. You have yam at home, you go and buy pounded yam outside.
But Stefan, so someone once said that the likes of Adams Oshomole were one of those who were headlining protest against the government inefficiencies and all. But when he got into government itself, he realized that there were lots of things that he shouldn't have protested against. Do you buy that sentiment? Because of course it's very good, as an audience to say the footballers are not doing well. But when you get into the field itself, you see something
what is inside this field now? What is inside this field that you have crude, you are not refining it yourself? You'll be in problem now. That is it. If you are saying we are heavily indebted, okay, why can't you address that debt? Get it struck off, then henceforth start to refine it. Why are you fighting against those who are operating modular refineries? You say they are criminals. Why can't you, if you cannot get a full-fledged refinery to work, those people who have the skill set they are doing bunkering and all that, stealing it and refining it by themselves. Why don't you empower them and take that technology from them, globalize it? So let's now rely on that modular refinery, at least for half of our consumption. So the answer is in the question, okay? But we have refused to either answer the question. What we are doing is to give ourselves new questions that we are not able to answer. We are running from pillar to post. We should remember that we have a generation that is coming, that we need to bequeath, our commonwealth. We need to bequeath our commonwealth to a generation coming, so that generation will be able to stand on that tripod to, forge ahead and also bequeath something for their own. The scripture says that it's only a wicked man that does not leave inheritance for his children. So this is a wicked government, because it has nothing in pipe for the citizen. Yes, Section 14, Subsection 2 of the 1999 Constitution. It is hereby accordingly declared that sovereignty belongs to the people, through which government derive our legitimacy. That the security and welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of government. If the people don't have a taste of governance, it means that you have failed at it.
All right. So while we talk about this particular issue, Barrister Tunji, it is becoming to take another dimension. The protest is becoming more remote, and this brings us back to 1994 with the Nadeko era. Don't you think this is going to give more hydra-headed situation where, of course, it's no longer physical, but it's going remote, and it might even be more dangerous?
Yeah, you see, you use everything you get everything you know to get what you are looking for. If it's no longer possible for people to gather physically to make protests, they'll use other means to do that, and that online is not it's also part of it. In other words, they can in any event, these people are also. Yes, I love what is happening. Unlike the NSAS protest that we have been told that there was no plan. It shows that there are people who are planning on it. And for anybody now to come out and say these protests, the leaders of these protests are faceless or whatever, it appears they are just they don't know what they are saying, or they are pretending not to know what they are saying. We now have it's clear there are people who are behind it, who are also working out to ensure that there was no crisis. They know when to retreat and when to start again. And one of their lawyers yesterday, the Jadeyaju, he said clearly yesterday that he's not part of the organizer of the protest. He's just one of the lawyers. That the government should be lucky that they give notice. But if they are able to question this one, the one that will come thereafter will come sudden, and there won't be any notice of anything, and they won't be able to prepare to prevent it. So that is food for thought. So the government should encourage people to express their feelings. I know if the government has not intervened and the government is not using force, trying to use force to dispel them, they may not even spend up to 6 days or 5 days. That they will be tired, and then they will go back to where they come from. You can see after 2 or 3 days, people are already on their own going out. Yeah. And anybody, even when the protesters are saying we are still on, people are already moving, and then business are coming back together. Except in some part of the north, where people are taking it to another level. I think, and the government, the president in his address, the last one, because the one they just that was set up in the list has been denied. Like Bayo and Anoga, you know, the usual parties. Yeah. One aide will say this, another one will come and counter it. Bayo and Anoga came yesterday and said that video that is trending is an old video. That was done in 2023. The one that said president made a new broadcast. Okay, new broadcast. Oh, okay. That it was 2023, whatever. But the point is that whether 2023 or 2022, that what the president was saying in that video is exactly what is happening today, and it's like the address he did the last time. So it shows that the problem has been on when the president has been asking us to be patient since he came into office, and he has not done anything to show us that look, you know, I've been telling you to be patient. This is the progress I've made so far. If a government think it's making progress, and the people are not seeing the progress, you are not doing anything. The progress you are making should not be known to you alone.
It's only him that knows it.
People who are not in government should also know. In fact, like I was listening to a program yesterday, and the NOA director or general or whatever was being interviewed, and he was trying to roll out certain achievements. And the anchor say, look, this thing you need not tell us all these things if truly these things are available. We should be seeing it by ourselves.
Yes.
That you are only telling us because they are not available.
They are not available.
Because you don't advertise product that's already there. No, you can't tell me that certain product. They can't mention it and say, don't you know this product? You will know already. So the government should ensure that look, if at all they say they are making progress, citizens should see the progress. And how do we see the progress? In our, not just by physical seeing. We must reflect in our lives. When people talk, I get angry sometimes when people talk about at least government is doing, it's fine, they are giving a right to the less privileged or to the vulnerables. People need it, who need the rights most. In Nigeria today, who doesn't need any? We are up 90 million are vulnerable. Yes. Except those in government. Yeah. The level of affordability.
In the National Assembly, they were also rights the other day.
Yeah, the level of affordability is only different. For instance, now if the fuel is cut down, like I said to protest my point that time, before the subsidy is gone pronouncement, my fuel tank was just 18,000 naira to fill it. Today, I spend almost 50,000 naira weekly.
It's 60. That tank is 60.
Weekly. So remove 18,000. How much has been added? So if that is removed from my responsibility, will I not use the money to do that thing? Yeah. The school fees that have gone up because of this whatever. The food prices that have gone up is because of this issue of transportation is high. This is high. That is high. So and that's what people are saying. Let's make our major problem is subsidy removal that you have pronounced. Let the fuel pump price come down.
Return that subsidy.
So many things automatically will go. So, but these are the part of the issues asked for by the protesters. Look at the subsidy, the fuel pump price. Look at this and that. And some people are saying why they fail was that they have so many demands that they don't do a protest and have so many demands. Okay, let him agree that they have so many demands. Why has the president not touched on one or two that he can do? Because some are saying those demands are not, some of them are not realistic, and that was that the president did not ignore them. So let people assume that some of them are not realistic. Those that are realistic, what has the president done on them? So the government should address the issue. The question they are asking are genuine and saying, diverting our attention to say that look, they are being sponsored by politicians, they are trying to take over the government. As far as it's tactics to divert attention, as you can see, when the issue of flight came in now, some citizens are now supporting the government to say, you are going far beyond what you are expecting. So that is a kind of blackmail. That's what government, and that's why even before the start of the protest, they tried those blackmail that the protest should not come up because it will be hijacked, because it was going to be this, going to be that. But it didn't work. They didn't expect that people would still come out because you see so many people went to catch out. They couldn't do anything. Even those who said they would do oral. Yeah. They couldn't do their oral.
Yeah, very true.
The oral has been suspended. Because so I don't know. It shows that they have done any rule before. They just want to use that one to scare people away. Because as of today, I'm not aware of any rule being carried out anyway.
All right. So yes,
with the government, rather than try to push people or try to force people to drop their grievances, it's rather address the issue. And the president is saying, come and dialogue. What are the one that will carry themselves and say, president, we are coming to you for dialogue? What effort has the president made? They made their own offer. What counter offer has been made by the president?
The problem is that the government does not believe that the people can tell them what to do. It's arrogant.
They see themselves as they know it all. They believe that whatever all their own plan or policies is the best, and
that you don't know anything to tell them what to do.
Some people will come and I read that president to our finance minister saying that any government that will come and remove and bring back subsidy, as if we are not paying, as if the subsidy is not back, that person will have to be borrowing money to even pay salary. That person will have to be doing this and that. Are they not doing all those things now?
It's a lie. They don't know what they are doing.
Are they not borrowing money? Are we not paying subsidy again? So it's a deceit for anybody, for those who don't know. As far as I'm concerned, the president is at loss as to what to do, and he should double his efforts in getting solution to our problems. Right. I will not blame any other person. I will not blame any minister, because no minister was voted for. It was the president that was voted for.
Right.
And the governors, yes, I hold them accountable. I'll ask questions, but the president should please save us by not giving them more money. In other words, don't do policies that will give more money to the governors that are not accountable. We know before the president came into power, we all know that the governors are not accountable, and you are now creating a venue for them to get more money, and you are now saying we should hold them responsible. You took away the money from our mouth, what we are benefiting, and give it to an individual. Those individuals are now seeing it as their own personal property, and they are now, you say we should hold them responsibility. You gave it to them, you should hold them responsible. It's your responsibility. After all, when you are removing subsidy, you did not call me. You did not call Nigeria. When you are removing subsidy, you did not call the governors. When you say the money will be shared to them, no, we are not part of it. All the share we are taking solely by you.
All right. So what we talk about?
So problem, fix it, please.
Yeah. So what we talk about? All the issues actually coming from him. There was a viral video at the beginning of his administration when he said, no matter how long the Nigerians protest, that subsidy would not be, taken back. But of course, while we take a look at that, in the UK, protests are still, of course, ongoing. Over 300 arrests have been done. But incidentally, no one has been killed by the police force there. In Nigeria, we have more than 15 people dead already, and more still dying.
Yes.
So how are we getting it wrong?
You see, in the UK, the life of humans are highly prioritized. Human life is highly prioritized. You see, I was in Heathrow. In Heathrow Airport, the transport within the airport is free for everybody. You just join the tube train, it moves you. I was coming back to Lagos, and there was this train we were supposed to take to move to another part of the airport where we board a flight to Lagos. Then we had the tarmac when the train came in, and we heard a heavy sound, boom, the moment it stopped close to us. So the moment that happened, the safety manager now came out and said, we cannot board. That we should wait, we cannot board. So they started making calls. They delayed us for 15 minutes. You understand? And at the end of the day, they said we cannot use that one. Just because of that sound. They couldn't fathom where the sound came from. And as a result of that, we were asked not to use it. They now took us to another tarmac to take another one. You understand? So what I'm trying to say in effect is that safety and security is prioritized in the West, especially in the UK and in the US. So they will do everything possible, those policemen, to ensure that they achieve their objectives without killing anyone. They will do everything possible to make sure that is done. It's not all so the same here. Here you hear a policeman say, I will shoot you and nothing will happen. You understand? And he has a tendency to shoot. A lawyer was killed last year. A lawyer was killed last year at Ikoyi for just no cause. a policeman opened fire at her with the husband and the baby in the car.
Aja.
Yes, Aja. You understand? So when you see all those kind of things, you begin to wonder whether truly these people are trained. Some persons have argued that why should the entry level into the police force be school, primary school leaving certificate? Now, why should it be so? I think they move it to SSC now.
Yeah.
You understand? Even with this one, they are still behaving in a way that you don't understand. Some persons are arguing that they should move it to OND. I'm not saying, is it by the moving to OND or the SSC or the school living certificate, those places where they get those ONDs from, and those people get those primary school where they get the certificate from, how equipped are those places? What is the efficiency level? What is how much of their inner faculties have been developed as a result of their education? So many things are wrong. We need to prioritize human life. There is nothing that is as high as a human entity. A human being, one person have capacity to think through, to develop a whole entity. The human mind is a universe. So if we need to see human being, human capital from that point of empowerment, perhaps these people will slow down on, because people are out there. The protest is now in the 4th day, right, in the UK.
Yes.
It's the 4th day. You understand? Nobody have been killed other than the people who were stabbed that caused the protest. And it's not even a mild protest. It's not a mild protest. A protest where they release dogs and all that, and so many things are going on. So our police force, they should learn a little from what is going on outside this country and see that people are protesting does not mean they're against the government. Does not mean they want to topple government. You understand? Here, once you just hear protest, the next thing is that they want to topple my government. Topple your government. Which government, self? Are you even effective in that government? And there's protest. So,
yeah, okay. While we wrap up, yes, speak to that, of course, and also on the conflict management, because, of course, Barrister Vance did say we can't compare, the efficiency of police force in other parts of the world and Nigeria, but let's localize it with the issues we have in Nigeria, perennial issues we have in Nigeria, of course, which gives rise to anger. Right? How do you think the Nigerian police force can better manage such a conflict, knowing that at the other end of the divide, there's so much poverty, there's so much anger, and people, when they protest, they turn peaceful protest to a violent one?
You see, until we have security agencies that know that, look, we are professional, because they don't see themselves as professional. They see themselves as part of the government in power or party in power. That is the truth. They see themselves as part of the government in power, or their role is to protect those in government. As long as they have that mentality, we will continue to have what we are having. In other words, as long as they are not professional, and then what he said regarding prioritizing a human life, you will continue to have this. And as long as we have the kind of system where we have today, that a law can be changed because of one person, you continue to have this. You recall that this is our current IGP. Police. Yeah. He's scheduled to retire by September. Yeah. And just because of him, our law was changed to allow him to spend more years. So if you have that kind of person who has a law change because of him, what do you think he will do to the president? For the president, he will do anything the president wants him to do, and he will give instruction that is in line with what the president is looking for. So as long as we continue to have this kind of system, we'll continue to have security agencies that will not work professionally, because they see themselves as part of those in government, or for them to be able to get benefits or to be recognized as somebody who is doing well. They must support whatever the government is. Otherwise, you see these protests we are talking about. We have to protest. Okay. We have the one for government, that is pro-government protest. Did you hear anything regarding any bad thing regarding a pro-government government? The minister wasn't part of it. They even have a uniform. A minister, they were led by a minister. They were even conveyed with the government vehicle.
So that one was sponsored. They are not talking
about that one now. Because if you can use the government vehicle to convey people to come and protest, what are you doing? They are not supposed. So if you are investigating people who are sponsoring the anti-government, and bad government protests, they should also be investigating people who led the protest of we are in support of government, particularly the minister. And in fact, that was the first time I would know I know that minister exists. Minister of police of state of police affairs or something. I mean that was the first time I know somebody is called a minister for state. That is the woman. So they are not. So we have government. Whatever the government is protesting, people are protesting on behalf in support of government. You won't hear any issue of hijack. You won't hear any issue of they want to talk to my government. And and people believe that once you support government policy, that's when you are patriotic. No. Patriotism is not about supporting government policy. Criticism, scrutinizing government policies, asking questions about government policies is also patriotism. Because so it's not only when you support government policy at all that you are seen as a patriotic. No, if I criticize government or criticize their policies, I am patriotic. If not, I will just keep quiet and start looking at you. I will allow things go wrong and say, I don't want to talk. So the government should believe that, look, we all want this country together. There is a privilege for them to be where they are. It's not as if they are the best. It's not as if they know more than any other person. They are just privileged. Some of them don't even deserve to be a commissioner, not less of a minister, or a governor. Some of them don't even deserve to be a chairman of local government or councillor. But they are privileged, and because of our system, they were able to get there. And they now see that they are the best. No, we all own this country together, and that is why we see a minister who says, "God forbid, what is the good work of a former of Buhari that you want to continue?" And that same good work is what is continuing now.
Yes.
You see a current senator, Adam Oshiomhole, during Buhari saying that Buhari is laying foundation, we should allow him time. Today, the same man is saying President Tinubu met a rotten government from Buhari. Can you see the insincerity in it? So as long as you have this kind of a conflict position, we will continue to have war.
Very true. You know, just like it's often said that free speech can only be called free speech when people you do not like say things to you that you do not like. I think it's very important that the reason for some of the protests that we have is to, bring or put the feet of our leaders to the fire, so they understand the importance of being accountable and doing what is needed of them. We'd love to say thank you to Pastor Feli for being part of our show today. Pastor Tuji Abdulhamid, thank you so very much, as always, for coming up to be part of our show today. But most importantly, love to say thank you for also giving us your time wherever you're reaching us from around the world. We'll sincerely do appreciate your time. But please do well visit our website for more information at enterprisetvnews.com, and also like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. I am Henry Igwebike. On behalf of the entire team, thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.